Hi, I'm Darla's sister Karen, and I am here to show you how to make a fabric gift bag, reusable fabric gift bag. And what you're going to need is just a rectangle template. This is from Winter Designs, and you can find them on her website, winterdesigns.com. And you're going to take the template and you're going to lay it on your 2 layers of fabric with the fold at the bottom. And you're just going to put the template down, lining up the fold on the bottom with the bottom edge of that template. And then you're going to cut around the template. Oh, that didn't sound like it cut all the way. There we go. All right, of course. I guess I need a new blade in my cutter. Doesn't that happen to all of us?
It always.
It can just happen, and you just keep it a little bit longer. That's all you need. That's me anyway.
Yep.
Okay, and now after you open it up, so you have the wrong side up, you're going to mark 1.5 inches from the ends, both ends in. And this is another Winter Design ruler that's 1.5 inches. So we're just going to line this up with the edge and draw that line. And all I have with me is the white pencil at the moment, but I'll see if it shows up. It does. So we're good there. And you're going to do that on both ends. I hear birds. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to snip at the end of that line 1/4 inch in from all corners. Now this is a simple, easy, fast project to make, to put a gift in. And believe it or not, I sewed the whole thing with a zigzag stitch. Okay, so now I've got that all folded in. Then what I'm going to do is, because of that little snip, I can fold that end in just like that 1/4 inch. And then I'm just going to zigzag that down. And I have a black thread in here so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Because I forgot to switch it over. That's the way I roll.
You did it on purpose so they could see.
Scissors. All right. Now you're going to do that to all 4 corners. And because I prepped ahead of time, I have one done to all 4 corners. Okay, then after you get your corners done, you'll have that line there at that 1.5 inches, and we're going to take the raw edge and fold it to that line. So you got a 3/4 inch area folded over, okay? And then I'm just going to take to the machine and I'm going to zigzag that down by the edge. And again, I have the black thread in, so you're definitely going to see it. And you can start and stop at the front and the beginning and the end. I forgot to at that one end, because that's the way I am too. Okay, there I start and stopped. Okay, so because I forgot to do it at that end, I would, if I was doing it at home, I would just go back and do a little stitch there real quick to stabilize that, but not a big deal. Okay, so now I've got both ends, because I already sewed this one down, and we're going to put it right sides together. And you're going to sew both sides with the zigzag. And you're going to stabilize the front and back, the first end and the back end again. Did I accidentally slow this down or something? Nope, apparently not. I'm a speed demon on the sewing machine, and sometimes it just feels like it's not going fast enough. And back stitch a little bit. Okay, cut that off of there. I'm going to do the other side real quick. You'll see this goes back together so fast. Just line your edges up. They make a really good gift bag, you can put, and you can make them bigger, obviously. You can use bigger rectangles and do it, or make them smaller. I have several different sizes that I've done here. Okay, so now I have both sides sewn, and you can either leave it like this without doing boxy corners. Like this one is just flat, and I just left it because it's so small. I didn't feel like it had the room for the box corners. But there's also this, which has the box corners. So Winter Designs also has these little corner cutouts. And you're just going to line that up with the fold on the bottom and the zigzag seam that I did. And you're just going to take your rotary cutter and you cut both directions. And you just cut that corner right out of there. Look how slick that is.
And there's 5 of these templates, and each template gives you 2 different sizes.
Yes,
so
you can cut for the inside or the outside of it.
Yeah. And you're using the smallest size available.
I'm using the smallest size, the little inch on the inside. Okay, so now I've got that cut out. So all I have to do now is pull it from each side. Well, apparently my pulling isn't working very well, so I'm gonna stick my finger in there. And then I'm just gonna zigzag across those corners. Reverse. And of course, always go back and forth. And the other corner. And we're almost done. Okay, get my extra threads off. There we go. Put those over there. Okay, now you're just going to turn this thing inside out, and you're going to add some cording. And there's different ways to add cording. On this one, I took cording, and I have some of that cording here. I'm just going to grab it. And basically what I did was I thought, okay, I want this much to hang off the end of it, and then go here, and you want to double it. Okay, and then cut it. And you're going to need 2 of those. So then I just use the first one for my measurement. Okay, now, how do you get the cording in there? Well, my secret is a huge safety pin. See how the safety pin has a little circle in the end? I take the cording and thread it through that hole. Do it from this end, the other end's frayed. And then I just give it a nice knot. And of course this cording frays, but the secret to that is after I get this threaded through there, I use a lighter on it and melt the end, and then it can't keep fraying. Okay, so you're just going to do that, and then you take the big safety pin and just thread it through. Pull it through, turn it over. Do the same thing on this side. Okay, and then unknot it from your safety pin. Come on. There we go. And then I knot this together, these 2 ends together. I kind of pull them together like this. Knot this together. And I cut off the excess cording, and then I just use a lighter to melt the end. But you do that, and the other one you start at the opposite side and thread it both ways, tie it off, same thing. And then you got your 2 cordings, and you just pull it, and it makes a nice bag. So you can make all different sizes. This one is with a directional fabric, so you can't put this one on the fold, so it has a seam in the bottom. So you're gonna make sure you have room for the seam when you're trying to do it. And I fussy cut this one so I could have the animal in the middle as well. But that's my idea for reusable fabric bags using Linda Winter's templates.
And while you've been doing this, I was thinking bridal showers and birthday parties and all kinds of things. If you are doing something where you're giving a gift and a gift and a gift and a gift, you could do coordinating fabrics and
Yep.
make them so that when they're finished, they can all nest inside the bigger bag.
Yep.
So I love this. This is so fast, so easy.
It's totally fast.
And any size. And again, the rectangle and then the box it, square it, place it. Those are
Yep.
the small
And the
templates.
1.5 ruler,
So-
no matter what size you make your bag, I drew the line 1.5 down because then that gives you room, and after you do the zigzagging, to sew that down for your cording. And you can actually use fabric. I cut a strip of fabric for this one,
Oh,
2
cute.
different strips. And so the fabric is also then the cording.
Perfect. And then the cord stops that we talked about. Show the cord
yes,
stops
I'm
because
sorry.
that's a nice option too.
If you want to use cording instead of doing a knot in the end, you can put a cord stop on it. Here's my extra piece. And just thread it through there. You have to do it so it's together, and then you put your cording through there. If your cording's stiff enough to want to go through there, it's
And
fighting.
you can use, paracord. You can use cording, like you said, the fabric. And the cord stops come in all different shapes and sizes and configurations. But kids like the cord stops to be able to play with and
There we go.
tighten it.
Finally got it. All right. And so,
Yeah.
and then that stops.
Perfect.
And then you can get them in different colors. And this one has little hooks on the end, so you could like run your things through there and just hook this together, and you'd have a colorful cord as well.
Perfect. I love this project. Thanks, Karen.
You're welcome.